Hey, it's Wahler from Ideal Body. In this video, it's all about the easiest diet to follow for weight loss. All right, let's get started. So today we're gonna cover the easiest diet in the world to follow for weight loss. And the reason why this is so important is once you dial in your nutrition and what you're eating, you can literally lose as much weight as you want. That's how important eating is. It's not really about exercise or anything like that. It's all about the foods you eat consistently day after day, week after week. And I know there's a lot of confusing information out there. There's all these articles and diet plans and everything, but this is what I pared down to the most simple, straightforward, that anybody can follow diet plan to get the results that you want. All you gotta do is start implementing it as soon as today. So we're gonna break it down. We got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're gonna stick with those three meals. We're gonna cut out the snacks, and I'll get to that a little bit later on, but we're gonna just go through a simple template here that you can follow every single day to lose as much weight as you want. So we're gonna start with a low carb breakfast. And the reason why that's so important is your mornings really are kind of setting the table for how much fat and how much weight you can lose throughout the day. So your body is either going to run on stored carbohydrates or fat. So when you start running on pure fat, that's when you start losing weight even if you don't exercise. So the reason why breakfast is so important is because your body is digesting and processing all the foods you ate the day before. So what you ate for dinner is being processed, for the 8, 9, 10 hours, however long you sleep. And then when you wake up in the morning, your fat-burning hormones are at an all-time high. So they kind of rise up as you're sleeping, which is what research has proven, and then you have a great fat-burning environment first thing in the morning. And the other reason why this works so well is because you have a hormone called insulin, and that's the one that, if you don't remember anything else from this video, is if you want to burn fat, the fastest way possible is to keep your insulin levels super low. Now, first thing in the morning, you haven't eaten anything. Your body only releases insulin when you eat foods, so if you haven't eaten anything, it's basically at zero, which means it's starting to burn more fat and use more fat for energy instead of stored carbohydrates. So if you go in the morning and then you eat a high carb meal for breakfast, like oatmeal and blueberries, banana, a whole grain toast, whole wheat bagels, like foods that you've been told for years are healthy for you, it's actually doing a lot more harm than good because you're just flooding your body with these carbohydrates. Your body starts releasing all this insulin, and your body can only store so much of those at a time in your liver. So that basically breaks all those foods down into sugar. It gets stored in your liver. You can store a little bit in there for instant energy, but the rest gets kind of distributed around your body into your fat cells, and it's stored as fat. Obviously, we don't want that. So the way to get around that is by eating a lower carb breakfast. So some great options here is just keep it super simple. Bacon and eggs, one of the staples of American breakfast. Start eating that. You can have, if you don't have time to make scrambled eggs or something like that, hard boil a dozen eggs and have them there ready for you in the morning. You can have things like breakfast sausage, something like that. You can add in some avocado, anything like that. If you want to start having like baked things, if you like, baking or something like that. You can make a lot of the healthier recipes and just use something like almond flour instead of regular white flour. But I like to keep it super simple. I basically have the same breakfast every single morning if I eat breakfast. Now, sometimes I choose to skip breakfast, and that's something you can do as well, but we're not going to cover that necessarily in this video. So just stick with a low carb breakfast, and again, eat until you're satisfied and not your stuff. So don't think that you have to, eat a ton of food and just, eat until you're like overly stuffed. That's when you kind of get into trouble, even if you're eating healthier foods. So just eat until you're satisfied, eat until you're full, and then move on with your day. So you're setting your day, you're setting your fat burning environment first thing in the morning by eating a low carb breakfast. So later on in the day, we're gonna move on to what I call a lean lunch. So the way you can think about this is, for all of these meals, and even to the breakfast one that I just mentioned, you can break it down into three simple things. You want to pick a protein source, you want to pick a fat source, and then you want to pick a vegetable source. So for breakfast, again, what we talked about, you could have the eggs, bacon, and the vegetable. If you want to put like some spinach or some peppers in the eggs and the scrambled eggs or an omelet or something like that, that's perfectly fine. And you can also kind of skip the vegetables for breakfast because they're kind of hard to eat first thing in the morning. I'm not a big vegetable eater right when I wake up, so you can kind of skip it there. But when we go into the lunch, you want to pick a vegetable, a protein, and a healthy fat. And again, the reason why we're doing this is we want to keep our insulin levels super low during the day. So if you're eating high carbohydrate foods, your body releases a ton of insulin and it creates a fat storing environment in your body. We obviously don't want that. So we're going to eat higher fat foods, a little bit of protein, and then a lot of veggies as well. So for lunch, some really simple things are, you could have like a salad with some sliced up chicken or ground beef. You could have some black olives in there as a fat source, avocado. You could use olive oil as a dressing. Olive oil and vinegars are a great dressing that actually helps you burn more fat. Pretty much every bottled salad dressing is terrible for you. Even the low calorie ones, even the low sugar ones, they're still just processed, and there's a lot of very harmful chemicals in there, so I would just stay away from those altogether. You could also do something like a burger without the bun. So just ground beef, maybe a slice of cheese on top. You can put some black olives on there, and then pick some vegetables to have on the side. Again, maybe a small salad, maybe some broccoli, maybe some cauliflower, something like that, and then just kind of piece it together that way. So you're getting the protein in with the burger, you're getting the healthy fats in there with the full fat cheese. If you use like black olives on top, or again, avocado, something like that, you can throw some tomatoes on there, and then get the vegetables again with maybe some lettuce or some broccoli, cauliflower, something like that. So again, keeping it super simple. We're keeping the carbohydrates down so your body creates more of a fat burning environment throughout the day. Number 3, we're moving on to dinner. So again, lunch and dinner to me are pretty much interchangeable. I eat, what I eat for lunch, it can also be eaten for dinner. What you eat for dinner can also be eaten for lunch. We kind of get into this pattern where, certain foods are just lunch foods, and certain foods are just breakfast foods, and certain foods are just dinner foods. I don't look at it like that at all. I look at what do I want to eat, what tastes great to me, and to me, what's the easiest to make. I hate spending a lot of time making meals that, you got to prep for 30 minutes and then you got to bake it for 45 minutes. I just want to eat when I'm hungry, and I kind of want to eat now. So I just keep it super simple. So again, for dinner, you could have something like steak. It's a great option. Get the fattier cuts of steak too, because that's what's going to help you, again, burn more fat because you're eating more healthy fats. So something like that with some, green beans or asparagus, something like that. To get the fat source in there, you're going to have the fat with the steak, or you can cook your veggies in grass-fed butter and coconut oil. Those are great options. You can even drizzle some olive oil on top of your veggies, something like that. Again, you could have fish is a great option. Any type of, fish cooked or chopped up on top of a salad, something like that. Really, it's just the way that you like to eat it the most. So I just like to eat the foods plain. So I'll eat steak with some pink Himalayan sea salt on top, and then I'll have the veggies cooked in butter, and that'll be my meal. And it'll fill me up because all the healthy fats in those foods that you're eating for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast are filling you up throughout the day, so you're not constantly hungry, you don't have the cravings, you're not snacking every couple hours, you're just eating 3 meals, and your body has a chance to digest all those foods. So again, dinner is super easy. You could do the burger without the bun, you could do chicken, you could do chicken thighs. Keep the skin on there because the skin actually gives it flavor, and again, there's a lot of the healthier fats in the skin. So you're just getting a protein source, a healthy fat source, and then a vegetable source in there, and you're just sticking with that for all 3 meals. And the other reason why this works so well is because your body basically has 2 energy sources to use throughout the day. So it can either run on stored carbohydrates or it can run on stored fats. If you're eating carbs all the time, and which most people do, it's about 60 to 70% of the standard American diet is carbohydrates. The problem is then you're burning through all those carbs, but then you never actually get to burning your stored body fat. For me, I like to think of it the other way. I want to burn the stored body fat. I don't care about burning carbohydrates. That doesn't make me look better. That doesn't make me feel better. That doesn't make me move with less pain because I have less weight on my joints. So I want to create a fat burning environment where my body's using my stored fat for fuel. This is the way to do it with the high fat meals, the lower carbohydrate meals, and really just focusing on getting your carbohydrates from vegetables and then some fruit. So berries are the best ones to eat there. Stay away from the high sugar and high carb foods for at least 30 to 60 days when you're just starting on your weight loss journey. So again, the easiest diet, low carb breakfast, a lean lunch, a high-fat dinner. Support yourself by going on the weekends and just buying a bunch of food from the grocery store. You don't have to prep your meals or anything like that. I personally don't do that because it's so time-consuming and I just don't enjoy it. But you can have those foods on hand and then you can whip together something very, very easily. You can throw things in a bag to bring with you to work. It's very, very simple. My wife used this. She was about 3 or 4 months ago, we had our second child. We have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. As you can imagine, our lives are pretty chaotic now because they deserve a lot of attention and demand a lot of attention. So she was not feeling the best about her weight. She just had 2 kids. She's on the verge of turning 40 in a couple months, and she had a couple pounds that she wanted to lose, especially from having our second child. So what she did is she basically followed this exact same template. I gave it to her, and that's really it. I didn't, give her, all this, confusing coaching advice or all this, complicated informations and diet plans and, eat at this time, eat at that time. It's eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Eat what you enjoy. And she lost 30 pounds in less than 2 months. And now on the verge of turning 40, she weighs less than she did in high school over 2 decades ago. And this is, again, after having 2 kids. So it works. It'll work for you no matter how old you are. As long as you just implement it and just stay consistent with it as best as you can, because when you look at diets, it's like a short-term solution. And people think, I'm going to go on the diet to lose the 30 pounds they want to lose, but then when the diet is over, then they, go back to their old eating habits. So my question to you is, do you want to lose those 30 pounds and then, keep it off for a couple weeks, or do you want to keep it off for the rest of your life? If you want to keep it off for the rest of your life, don't look at this as a diet, just look at it as a new way of eating, a new lifestyle for you that supports the weight that you want to lose and the goals that you have. So again, we're doing the low carb breakfast, we're doing the lean lunch, we're doing the high fat dinner. The fat will probably start melting off pretty quickly. We've had people lose anywhere from 3 to 10 pounds in just 1 week from transitioning their normal way of eating to eating like this. So again, it's super fast, it works, women, men, any ages. So again, just start implementing it today. Take one small simple step, go with the low carb breakfast, and you'll be able to start burning fat quickly and easily, even if you never exercise. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button below, comment below, let me know what you want me to cover in future videos, and go ahead and subscribe because I'm shooting new videos every single week to help you lose more weight. And if you want to get a free gift on how to triple your fat burning overnight, just click the link in the description below. Let me know what your best email is and I'll send it over to you 100% free, my way of just saying thank you for taking the time to watch this video.